Hey, I'm answering a client question about her relationship with her dad, and it's a problematic one, and they have some tricky history together. And she was talking about how there was kind of a lovely little victory recently where she just very clearly asked him for something. He very clearly relayed that he got what she was asking for and was willing to give it. And she was noticing things felt easier and sweeter with him. And then the question was, so I catch myself thinking, it's not like our relationship is healed. It's not like this is never going to come up again or other things aren't going to come up. And she's just already projecting into a future where things aren't looking so good with her dad. So let me just say this. Sure, I agree that it's not healed, the work isn't done, and sure, some stuff will come up, and it may or may not be stuff that you feel that willing to deal with or that thrilled about. So what I want to say to you is, don't project the future. Just stay in the present. That's all you've got for real anyway. And if it feels sweet right now, or if it feels like a victory was won, you're sort of robbing yourself of that if you jump ahead to what's going to go wrong next. But you're right. There will be stuff that comes up. But I want to invite you to stop talking about your relationship with your dad as if it's a thing. You know, we do this concretizing of things that aren't concrete. I call it, making them into stone statues or statuification. So you don't need to make a statue of your relationship with your dad. It's really not a thing. It doesn't really exist. And there are many moments when you don't have to deal with him at all. And there are moments that if you don't bring to the moment old history, and you're just feeling pretty good right now, and he's feeling however he's feeling, and you can just meet him in the moment, there's no problem. So I want to invite you also to your relationship with yourself. So you're in your rights to have whatever relationship intentions you've got with your dad. Maybe you don't want to be that close to him. Maybe you don't want to work that hard on your relationship with him. That's fine. And until he's gone, or until you leave him or cut him out of your life, which it doesn't sound like you're planning to do, then here he is whenever he's here. And your relationship with yourself is far more important than that, and you're with yourself all the time, and you have a commitment to yourself, and you will be with yourself till your dying day. So really make all of this about your relationship with you. We grow ourselves, and we learn about ourselves, and we face what we need to face through relationships with other people, relationships of all kinds. This is why I say meet every face as the face of God, and it may as well be the face of God that looks like your dad sometimes. There's stuff to be gained in your relationship with him as long as he's here. So you're trying to grow yourself, that much is very clear, and when the scenes that you find yourself in involve your dad, don't abandon yourself. In those moments, why is the face of God showing up for you this way? And if it feels like a maddening way for that face to show up, well then, what's the invitation? Or what muscle are you building? Or what do you get to learn? Is this the time that you want to choose not to engage and very clearly choose that and act accordingly? Or do you want to learn how to not answer the questions or engage at the level that he wants you to engage at, or the questions he wants to ask you? So, or do you want to try to hear him differently or see him fresh and open to what he's saying or asking without a lot of story, and just find what you do and don't want to do for him, with him, in the moment? So there's so much possible, but what you're always doing, what you're really doing, is just working that relationship between you and you. And that involves meeting consciousness, and right now one of the forms of consciousness is your dad's. So show up how you want to, in the moment, when it comes up, and see if you can get out of thoughts about your dad, decisions about your dad, worrying about your dad, considering the future with your dad, whenever nothing's happening. Meet consciousness then in a totally different way. Meet with a set of eyes before you. Meet you and you. And see if you like that better. Let me make sure I said everything I wanted to say. By the way, it's true that your relationship with your dad isn't healed. But your relationship with you isn't fully healed. And your relationship with your dad allows you to continue healing it. So, don't worry about whether you do or don't, or even how much you want to heal your relationship with your dad. Sometimes you're more willing than others. Again, like how healed the relationship can be isn't a stone statue and could vary tremendously from one moment to the next. But heal yourself. And where you get to do that with your dad, or by clearly telling your dad you don't want to engage with him right now, or whatever the challenge of the moment is, step into that. It's really all for you. It's all between you and you. So I invite you to keep telling yourself the truth about your dad, about you, about how much choice you have, and step in with clear choosing.